Good afternoon, Kunal.
Sir, may I take the seat?
Of course.
Thank you, sir.
It's all yours. And we are happy to see you,
Sir.
but we don't want to see you here again.
Yes, sir.
How did it go last time?
So there were some mistakes from my side. I didn't score very well.
But what happened?
Sir, I think two things went wrong in that interview. So firstly, a question was asked regarding my alma mater, and I could not defend it, whether I opposed it. And secondly, sir, I don't know how much it made a difference, but I left my mask and sheet at the table itself. So I don't know how much it costed me, but I think these two mistakes, and I think I was too elaborative in some cases with that.
Out of that mask pack, I don't think it must have cost you much.
Sir.
But may I ask you the score last time?
So 160, sir.
Way below what we had seen.
Yes, sir.
This year you have to make up for it.
Sir, I'll try my best.
Yeah. What all have you done to ensure that you go beyond 200 this time?
Sir, I think one thing that I missed last time was self-introspection. I think I was trying to be someone which I wasn't, and that costed me. So this time I am trying to showcase myself.
That is even my most basic one.
Sir.
That is the interview, just be what you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let us start with the new movies you may have seen.
Sir. So recently I watched a movie called Don't Look Up by Adam McKay. So should I elaborate upon it?
Yeah. Although I have seen it, I like it.
Sir.
Let's discuss that.
So it's basically a movie regarding where a group of scientists are sure that a meteorite is going to impact Earth and destroy humanity as we know it. And they try to convince some politicians regarding what to do next. But there was no consensus, and ultimately because of capitalistic greed and political indecision, the meteorite finally hit the Earth and destroyed humanity.
Is there one such meteorite heading towards Earth right now?
Sir, not that I'm aware of, sir.
NASA has predicted.
So there have been studies, but no concrete finding as to the name of the meteorite. I am not that sure.
What is Shiva Shakti point?
Sir, it is the point where our Chandrayaan 3 landed near the South Pole. Its coordinates is 70 degrees south, and it is one of the nearest points where man has been able to land a probe. So that is the Shiva Shakti point.
Why do we need expeditions to move?
So there are multiple reasons. Firstly, sir, national prestige, that comes to mind. Secondly, sir, near the South Pole there have been places where sunlight hasn't reached, so it has remained untouched. So people say there are various compounds like helium-2 which could be used for nuclear fission or fusion, and even water can be present. So that could be analyzed to channel and discover how water evolved in Earth. These two are the things that come to mind, sir.
Let us hear your opinion about uniform civil code.
So I think it is a forward-looking and progressive step if it is implemented with an overlapping consensus of the public. It could be a path forward for our region.
Can you suggest the steps to bring it in reality?
Sir. So I think firstly, there should be an extensive debate as regards to what should be inculcated in the Uniform Civil Code and what not, which is more important. For that, sir, I think the religious leaders of various communities should come together willingly and discuss with an open mind. Secondly, sir, it is not possible to implement the Uniform Civil Code at a single glance. So a gradual implementation has to be taken. For that, sir, we need to identify which of the civil codes should be uniform and which should be taken at a later stage. And thirdly, sir, I think political willpower is also necessary, and an open mindset is required by all the stakeholders.
Let's say, for example, one particular community, and of course not the full community, some self-appointed representatives of that community,
Sir.
Oppose Uniform Civil Code. What to do?
So I think when we are talking about reforms at such a large scale, there would obviously be opposition from various sections of the communities, and these oppositions need to be taken in. So what are the legitimate demands that they are making? If there are some things which detriment which is adversarial to their interest, then that it should be taken into our consideration while formulating of the code. But if it is not, if it is irrational, if it does not have any constitutional basis, then perhaps it could be ignored as well, sir.
Okay. All the best, Kunal.
Sir,
Yeah.
thank
Hello, Kunal.
you. Sir.
Kunal, one thing is very interesting. You were best speaker in MUN.
Yes, sir.
What is MUN?
Sir, it is Model United Nations. So it is basically a platform where the students come as delegates representing the interest of various countries. They are given a problem and they need to consult among themselves and try to find a solution through a resolution, sir.
And how the real UN is functioning? There are two big wars going on.
Sir.
One for past 2 years now, one for approximately 2 months.
Yes, sir.
So relevance of real UN in this context.
So there have been questions regarding the legitimacy as well as the relevance, particularly because the UN Security Council does not today reflect the geopolitical realities, and that's why no consensus has been reached. But that does not take away the fact that it is the only institutional platform where global participation takes place. So we need to reform it as well, so in order to make sure that it serves the legitimate interest of the various countries.
Have you read today's newspapers?
Not today,
No.
sir.
Okay. Now I have read, I will tell you.
Sir.
In Qatar, death sentence awarded to 8 Indians
Sir.
has been reduced.
Sir.
Are you aware of this?
Yes, sir.
Achha. So how does it signify the political stand of India? Political standing of India?
Sir, can I ask a question, sir, regarding?
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, is it regarding the death penalty?
Yes.
Sir, India is one of the few countries which has opposed, which allows for death penalty or capital punishment. But in case of Qatar, sir, the people were ex-Navy personnel who were employed in Qatar. And so India felt that the quantum of punishment that was awarded does not match the crimes that they have committed. So that's why they were asking for some leniency in this regard, sir.
Okay, has India done any such thing vis-a-vis other countries?
Yes, sir, one thing comes to mind. Sir, the Kasab case.
No.
Sir, where they awarded capital punishment to Kasab.
No. You are off the mark. We will discuss it later on.
Okay, sir.
You have studied civil engineering.
Sir.
What happened at Silkyara?
So the Silkyara Barcode Tunnel, sir, recently there was collapse, trapping 41 people for 12 days, 17 days, sir. So the major reasons for this, so first one is tectonical reasons, sir, whereby the main boundary thrust, where the Indian plate goes beyond, inside the Eurasian plate. So there, the Silkyara Barcode Tunnel lies upon it. So loose rock is there.
Kunal, this is geology part of it. I
Yes,
want
sir.
civil engineering part of it.
Sir.
Tunnel collapsed. What happened from civil engineering point of view?
So for civil engineering perspective, the reprofiling work was not done accurately. There was show of poor workmanship, whereby the shotcrete method was not utilized to stabilize the walls of the tunnel. And so thirdly, important safety protocols like the Hume pipe or the escape tunnel was not also put in place. That resulted in the catastrophe.
And now the last question on Silkyara is,
Sir.
why this rat hole mining, which ultimately rescued the workers,
Sir.
not done initially?
Sir, rat hole mining is a very human intensive process. So the total quantum of rubbles between the people and the rescuing party was 60 meters. So using the auger machines, 50 meters was done. And for the last 10 meters, rat hole mining could have been used. But still, sir, it took 26 hours for the people and 60 meters was not humanly possible for them, sir.
Okay. Recently, airport at Ayodhya has
Sir.
been named, you know which?
Sir, Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram.
Airport has not been named Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram.
Last night it was changed.
It was
Okay, sir.
now changed to Maharshi Valmiki Airport.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll read
That's
about
why
it,
you have
sir.
to read the
Okay.
news.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the political significance of this renaming from Maryada Purushottam to Maharshi Valmiki?
So, from my limited understanding,
You have studied political science,
Sir.
therefore I am asking.
so firstly regarding secularism, sir, Indian government has a duty not to promote any religion, but to encompass all of it. So perhaps naming airport after a Hindu god was not secularly possible. Secondly, sir, I'm not aware of
Okay.
it.
Okay, we'll discuss it later on.
Sir,
You are interested in Avdi fusion cuisine.
yes, sir.
Avdi cuisine I know, but what is fusion?
Sir, it arose out of a necessity, sir. Since my father was in a transferable job and I'm fond of eating, so I had to improvise and adapt to the local ingredients of the places that I went. That's how the fusion cuisine came about.
So, can you name one dish which you created out of this fusion?
Yes, sir. So the dish name is Malai Glory, sir. So it's basically made out of cream wrapped around mishri, sir, in the shape of a pan. But sir, in Tripura, where I have lived my large chunk of life, sir, the milk did not create the thick cream that was required. So instead of that, sir, I used guria rice, which is a form of jhum cultivation, and it is very sticky. So instead of cream, I boiled it up and then smashed it and then used it for creating the gilori, sir.
Right. You have been in Badmer?
Sir, Barmer?
Barmer, where your father is posted?
No, sir, I have not been there. Sir, he's recently posted there.
He said Jodhpur, I think.
Yes, sir, Jodhpur.
Jodhpur.
I've been there once, sir.
Okay. All the best, Kunal.
Sir.
Good afternoon, Kunal.
Good
How are
afternoon,
you?
sir. The fine health.
Now,
IG, serving IG, when he wrote application at least. Serving IG
initial
of
stage,
BSF.
talking about UCC,
Sir.
and you talked about discussions, building a consensus, and all very, very noble sentiments. But tell me, when the Hindu Code Bill was brought in, or Hindu Marriage Act was brought in, etc., were there any consultations anywhere?
So there were consultations that started from the Constituent Assembly itself, and post that, sir, Dr. B.R.
Was
Ambedkar.
it ever taken up with the people?
So not that I'm aware of.
Why should UCC be taken up with the different communities who may have? Why can't 6 wise men sit somewhere and make a decision?
Sir, I think it would be a fraud upon our constitution if
Why? 6 wise men did decide these topics.
Sir, the conditions at that time was starkly different from the conditions that are now.
How?
Sir, first of all, literacy rate. The literacy rate at that particular time when independence occurred was only 16%. Today, 74% has been taken place. Secondly, sir, I feel that democracy has also deepened in many fold ways. Sir.
So are we saying that we were a illiterate, foolish lot in 1950 and thereabouts, and also that we were,
Sir.
not competent enough at that time?
Sir, illiteracy does not mean incompetency.
Then why was it necessary? You made it one of the points.
Sir, because of technology, sir. I feel that consultation at that particular point of time was not physically feasible because of the large scale problems that we already have at that time. Today, which we don't, sir.
Okay, let's move to a different thing.
Sir.
You have IR as one of, as your optional and is the subject of your study. How do you think this whole Nijar, Fanu and Khalistan issue, the way it is being handled in international relation terms, how does it impact our relationship with mainly US, even Canada, and even UK and Australia?
So the recent happenings have created a dent in the partnership that India was trying to build, particularly with the Western countries. So much so that the Canada, sir, initially had recalled its diplomatic corps. Same was case with us. And US also showed quite a few many objections with regards to...
Canada didn't recall its diplomatic corps.
So it reduced the diplomatic strength.
No,
We asked them.
Our orders.
Yes, sir, they mirrored
We
our...
told them, get out.
So they mirrored our stance, sir.
Mirror deployment, yes, that is what we asked for. But okay, anyhow, continue.
So it has created some problems with regards to how India tries to manage the West.
You said it has created a dent in what we are trying to build
With Canada, sir.
with Canada or with US for that matter.
So for US, I don't think that the dent is so big because of
Is it-
other geopolitical
Is
interests.
it that the dent is not so great, or is it that the US actually needs India to handle China? So they will give and take a little bit, but come to the crux, they will again
Sir, I think the second thing that you suggested, sir, US needs for its strategic rebalancing of particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, India. And that's why it is willing to let go of certain things which earlier it wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have, but it doesn't want to let go of one Pannu. Why is he so valuable?
Sir, I think it is because of the way America sees its society. Its crux is liberty, freedom.
You really think they work for liberty? Those liberty people had no problem killing the Iranian general by a drone strike.
So that was...
They killed him without any... there was no congressional approval even, if you want to talk in terms of democracy.
Sir.
So,
Sir,
I mean, as civilization, and I'm putting all the Western people in one basket, which actually makes a big show of, 007 James Bond, license to kill. Who gives that license?
So that is being a part of their national interest. And sir, if we talk in realist terms, perhaps US wanted to show that it wouldn't be treated like Canada was by India, and that it needs to respect its intelligence agencies.
Or simply that Pannu was their agent, he was their intelligence asset, and they have to protect it. There's no choice.
Sir, I have limited knowledge with this.
Well, if you're studying IR, study these various aspects.
Yes, sir, that could be a possibility.
How do you see the development of Ukrainian crisis now?
Sir, I think with the Israel-Palestine issue, it has taken somewhat of a backseat. Even the Congress, blocked by the Republicans, are not allowing for the aid to reach them.
Yes, it has gone off the TV screens, but the war is still there.
Yes, sir.
Everything is still going on.
So there have been reports that Russia now has taken a counter-offensive against the Ukrainian forces. And primarily because, sir, the support that US was giving was quite substantial. And
how do you evaluate our own neighborhood? Maldives wants India out.
Sir.
Sri Lanka hosts the Chinese spy ship again and again. And there are some issues with others also. What do you think of that, including Nepal?
So can I take a few seconds?
Of course.
Sir, I think there is delicate balancing required in South Asia particularly. And as you rightly mentioned, that Maldives, even Sri Lanka, and to some terms of Bhutan as well, are trying to court China and act as a swing state to get the most interest out of both India and China. But sir, I also feel that India has taken various steps to ensure that its preponderance remains in the South Asian region. So the recent G20, sir, where it tried to speak for the global South. Secondly, sir, its economic posturing, whereby it has extended credit lines to Sri Lanka. And recently, sir, a smart city in collaboration with Bhutan has also been called Galepu. Even in Bangladesh, sir, we are collaborating with Russia to start the nuclear power plant. So I think India is trying to do its part to remain the preponderant power in South Asia.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kunal, when I was going through your biodata,
Ma'am.
I saw that you have worked a lot on water
Yes, ma'am.
issues. So they say that the next third world war will be on water.
Yes, ma'am.
What are your views on this? And tell me some, new ways, some out-of-box thinking of saving water
Yes,
by
ma'am.
common man.
Ma'am, I think it is absolutely true that the Third World War, but I would like to go further and say the next civil wars also will be fought due to water, as we are seeing in Africa.
You're right.
And ma'am, regarding how common man could save water, ma'am, I think one of the things that we did in our college was very simple, but yet saved a lot of water.
Yeah.
We banned all the showers in the washrooms,
Wonderful.
and only we allowed tap water to be consumed. So once people start to pick up their own water, they usually consumed less of it. Secondly, ma'am, I think water harvesting methods are quite novel and could be used for channelizing the rainwater into percolation tanks, which could be used in future. Thirdly, ma'am, I think being a civil engineer, there are some new technology interventions, such as the sponge concrete, which is responsible for absorbing rainwater, and then it channelizes to the underground tanks. And that could also be used by common man to preserve water.
Good. You have spent a lot of time in Northeast.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the strategic importance of Bhutan to India?
Ma'am, first that comes to mind is the Chicken Neck Corridor, which adjoins the Bhutan from Bhutan and West Bengal region, which is only 22 kilometers long, but joins the entire northeast. Second, ma'am, is the Doklam area, whereby due to the natural topographical advantage, if any country occupies that, it could oversee the movements of logistics from Indian mainland to the northeastern region. And thirdly, ma'am, Bhutan also has large number of natural resources, particularly water. And water diplomacy plays a very important part when it comes to India and Bhutan. These three things are very important.
You know, freebies is a new norm adopted by all the political parties.
Yes, ma'am.
In elections. So my question is, how to establish accountability to political parties to their manifesto in the wake of freebies?
Ma'am, recently a report was released by RBI, which had said that the debt sustainability of most of the states, particularly Punjab, has increased to 53% of their GSDP, which clearly shows how freebies, where free public goods are provided to the people, are hurting our pockets. In that regard, ma'am, I think one way could be that all the political parties who are promising any particular freebie should actually put it upon their website that how do they want to achieve it and what are the finances that are behind it. Similar policy is also adopted in US politics, whereby they give a complete plan as how to they are going to fulfill their promises. Secondly, ma'am, I think public debates are also very important, where public awareness forums should be there, particularly the pressure groups who can actually go on ground without any ulterior motives and convince the people how these freebies are bad in the long term. So I think these two ways could be taken.
My last question to you is that it is generally understood that women's safety is not an issue in Northeast. Whereas in Hindi heartland, it is one of the most important issue, and in Rajasthan it has become one of the main factor for elections.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you agree with this statement, since you have spent a lot of time in Northeast and you are from Lucknow? So can you give me a comparison on that?
I think, ma'am, to a certain extent it is true that the conditions of women in Northeast are better as compared to the ones in North India, but that does not mean that there are no problems there as well. I feel that firstly, the skill set of women in Northeast is better than North India, particularly UP and Rajasthan, but it is not up to the level of a man. And that is again a very important setback regarding economic independence that they want to achieve. Secondly, sir, I feel that there is still discrimination, be it at workplace or at school level, where because of lack of toilets or basic infrastructure, they are not able to get the desired level of civic amenities. And thirdly, ma'am, I do feel that the policing also is a very important parameter there. Recently, we saw in Manipur how 2 people were paraded, and this basically shows that the mentality there is not very different from the North India region. So we need to take steps like we did in the Northern or Southern India part to make sure that women achieve the desired independence.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Kunal. How are you?
Sir, good. In fine health, sir.
So good model United Nations on global terrorism.
Sir.
So what is the difference between terrorist groups like the ISIS and the JET,
So
or the LET or the JEM?
Sir. Sir, firstly, it is that the composition, sir. In ISIS, people from all across the world had come for the caliphate, but for JEM or LET, sir, it is local population and mostly Mujahideens who had been shifted from Afghanistan to create terror in India. Secondly, sir, it's their funding. In ISIS, sir, the terrorist groups, when it was in peak in 2015 and 16, they were producing their own oil and were one of the largest economies. But in case of JEM and LET, it is mostly financed by FICNs and ISI, sir. Thirdly, sir, it is their mode of operation. ISIS used mass terror and social media campaigns, whereas JM and LET used the overground workers and its small operations against the army.
That's it.
Okay, sir.
Now, Tripura being where you spend most of your time,
Sir.
do you feel that the Act East policy of our country is working?
So can I take a few seconds? So I think the Act East policy, which was launched in 2015 based on 4C, is working in the northeastern regions. I can cite some examples, sir. Firstly is the infrastructure development with schemes like NACITS or PM Divine scheme, or collaboration with Japanese JICA for local infrastructure development. Many various highway projects, railway lines, dams, airports have come about in the northeastern region.
That is more donor.
Donor, sir.
On Act East means India's outreach into the Southeast Asia.
Sir. Sir, yes, in that case as well, sir, like the Manipur IMT trilateral highway, sir, which starts from Mysore in Manipur to Mysore. So the Feni Bridge, where India in Tripura has built a overland bridge to Bangladesh, sir. The Agartala Akhoda railway lines, sir. So these are some examples where infrastructure was built. Secondly, sir, there has been a lot of FDIs from the Southeast Asian countries and particularly Japan in the northeastern regions, like the International Bamboo Mission, PM Divine scheme. So these are ways in which India has tried to use its diplomatic leverage in bringing development in the northeastern region.
Specific to Tripura,
Sir.
what exactly is the Chakma problem?
Sir. So Chakmas are basically refugees. They are Buddhist in origin, and they started their journey from north of Arunachal Pradesh, and where they were basically prosecuted.
What is the claim? They started their journey in northeast. Well, there is a big Chakma problem in Arunachal Pradesh.
So the population of Tripura is not indigenous of there. So they migrated from that to this place, sir. So they traversed the entire northeastern region and reached Tripura, sir, to get safe refuge.
Okay, you get this right.
Yeah.
But tell me about why is there a clamor in the northeast against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act?
So there have been various calls by the local communities and pressure groups to try to alleviate the AFSPA based upon the various committee recommendations like Jeevan.
What is there in the AFSPA? I thought AFSPA is something which the country needs.
Sir, I think it is a very good step with regards to security of Northeast, but it has been misused by certain elements of both the army and the armed forces, and that has resulted in a mutual clash between the local population and the armed forces. For example, sir, the Moon incident, which took place in 2022, where 13 civilians were gunned down. And so, sir, these type of instances create a mutual apprehension and mistrust between the society and the armed forces.
AFSPA came in 1958.
Sir.
And the plea against AFSPA has been there from the next year.
Sir.
So it's a very long-standing problem. So what exactly can you read on this?
Sir.
How do you see the difference between these two terms which are current today in international relations? Multilateralism and unilateralism. What is the essential difference between these?
Sir, I feel the number of countries which are involved. In multilateralism, a large number of countries are there for creating consensus, whereas unilateralism is 2, 3, 4 or 5 or smaller number of countries. So that is the essence difference between them.
You are a specialist on the fusion.
So not a specialist, but I'm trying to.
We are all specialists.
Sir, I tried to.
Give me a neck out on that, so
sir.
You got some credence in that. How different is the Hyderabadi biryani from Awadhi biryani?
Sir, each and every part loves their biryani.
No. Specifically, batao.
Sir, starting from preparation part, sir, all the masalas that are used in Lucknowi biryani are crushed, whereas in Hyderabadi biryani, sir, they are put in whole. Secondly, sir, in the Lucknowi biryani, milk is used, whereas in Hyderabadi biryani, curd is used. Thirdly, sir, at the end of the preparation, sir, dum, that is indigenous to Lucknow is utilized using saffron and coal, whereas in the Hyderabadi biryani, sir, it is not used. And so lastly, I think it is the spices. Whenever you eat Hyderabadi biryani, you need to have water along with it because it is very spicy. But with regards to the Lucknowi biryani, it is very smooth, delicate, and you do not need any other assortments with it.
Watering. In spite of having just had lunch.
Sir.
You said
I'm happy you
in
said water
Lucknowi
is not
biryani, it
dilute.
is saffron and gold.
Ma'am, saffron and coal.
Acha.
Coal are put on top of the dum. So basically when the steam rises, if we allow to escape it, it does not create a dum. But when the steam hits a warm plate, it does not condense and it creates a pressure. So that is how the unique taste of Lucknowi biryani is achieved.
When are you cooking next?
And perhaps after the interview.
रिजल्ट के बाद हमको खिलाना
बिल्कुल. If you
अपने
qualify,
हाथ
you
से
do call us.
हमारे एक दूसरे पैनल मेंबर होते हैं जो बच्चों को कहते हैं रिजल्ट के बाद मेरे साथ खाना खाओगे
Sir.
पर हम हैं कि हम कहते हैं रिजल्ट के बाद हम आपका बनाया हुआ खाना
Sir,
खाएं.
definitely, sir, definitely.
All right.
Is it okay for a chief minister to be known as a bulldozer Baba?
Why not, sir? I think if a chief minister upholds the rule of law and justice, and in that process, sir, is using bulldozers, then I don't see any harm unless he does not break the law and is within his constitutional limits.
Is
sir.
he?
Sir, regarding the policy itself or the manner in which it is operated, it is within the constitution. But yes, there are apprehensions regarding its selective usage or that the time provided is not enough. So if these safeguards are provided, then I don't see any reason why illegal encroachments cannot be removed.
What is the best way to recharge groundwater sources?
So I think the best way is to leverage the local resources that are available there, and that is the way, because they know their land and topography better than anybody else. So imposing unilateral sanctions or unilateral measures is not the way.
Is there any example where certain person or organization, NGO or a movement has built up a role model in recharging groundwater sources?
Sir, I could think of the Alwar model by Dr. Rajendra Singh. He is also often called as the waterman of India, where he used johars and all to recharge the groundwater of that particular place in Rajasthan.
Is terrorism defined anywhere?
Unfortunately, sir, no international obligations or laws has defined terrorism in its full measures.
So forget international.
Sir,
Within Indian context.
sir, now the recently Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has defined terrorism, sir.
You remember that definition?
Yes, sir. Sir, terrorism is any illegal act that that threatens the unity, integrity, and territorial sovereignty of India, intimidates the local population, or disrupts the public order.
Actually, that clause refers to economic security of the country.
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay. Heard the term hydrology?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So hydrology is the study of water levels.
We were discussing recharging of groundwater. You said water to be diverted, etc., etc. Okay.
Sir.
The whole hydrological cycle is based on evaporation percentage.
Yes, sir.
So actually, by water conservation measures, we are hampering that evaporation process and thus disturbing the hydrological cycle.
Sir, not necessarily. I beg to differ, sir. Most of the evaporation comes from seawater, sir. And with regards to the groundwater recharge, actually, sir, whenever the rainwater falls, infiltration takes place. But due to excessive concretization that has taken place, this water discharges without recharging the groundwater. So we are just trying to eliminate what problem we have created and not build up any other problem.
Okay. How would you like to explain BSE Sensex crossing 71,000?
So I think it is an extremely good move for Indian economy.
Explain. How would you like to explain?
Sir, three reasons. Firstly, sir, it is the inflow of FIIs, the foreign portfolio investors, to the tune of 1,67,000 1,67,000 crore rupees because of the fact that the repo rates in USA has decreased or is going to be decreased. Secondly, sir, the performance of the Indian economy, where the macroeconomic framework potentials are stable and the economy just grew 7.6% in Q2. And thirdly, sir, it's the visionary policies taken by the government, be it in the manufacturing sector or its reformation of the policies such as PLI and all to boost the Indian market, sir.
Excellent, Kunal.
Sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Excellent.
Okay, sir.
And the crux of the matter being you being yourself.
Sir.
Like you have correctly pointed out, now we may, if you want, we may probably discuss sort of more.
Sir.
But rather than the mind being focused on what went wrong last time,
Sir.
it's only lessons to be learned. But you are excellent. I see no reason why you should actually not reach 200 this time.
Sir, I hope so.
Yeah. Excellent. You are speaking from understanding. Whatever issue we come up, your answers show that you have understood the issue. Therefore, if you come up with something where there is no ready answer,
Sir.
you are able to put things together and offer an answer.
Sir.
So, just about some little, I would call it fine tuning, no major thing, but just about I went on noting down,
Sir.
so as to reach utterly outstanding level this time.
Yes.
Sir.
Do you think last time's interview was based on DAF? UPSC interview?
So I think 60% DAF, sir. I think there were few questions which was not expected. Like I wrote cooking that time as well, but he went into cultivation of avocado and all. So I didn't know much about it. I think that was the only question which was out of the DAF. And one was regarding cloud infrastructure. So there
Cloud
were
as in software?
software cloud. Sir.
Okay.
So it was also not mentioned in the DAF. And sir, rest I think was quite aligned to the DAF.
Yeah. Actually, at avocado, you could have as well smiled and said, Indian cuisine hardly uses it.
Yes, sir. I should have done that. Sir.
Avocados are all Western.
Sir.
I like them,
Sir.
but when I travel like overseas.
Right, sir.
Based on what youngsters keep telling us after their actual UPSC interviews are over, we have made a mathematical deduction that when UPSC panel sees a candidate coming for second or more than second time, it is possible that that interview may go in what I have named as non-DAF direction.
Non-DAF.
Subject to all generalizations have their own limitations.
Sir.
So subject to that limitation, with UPSC you can never be sure. But on balance it seems their thinking is that if the same candidate is coming for second time, we may have covered his DAF last time. Let's explore new area.
Sir.
So I think your strategy for coming 2-3 days is while to brush up on DAF, of course, we can't take things for granted, but also be mentally ready for non-DAF.
Question, sir.
Yeah, and use these 2-3 days also to focus on those.
Current affairs. Sir.
That will mean current.
Sir.
And actually, by and large, that's what we have done.
Sir.
I'm also sitting here with last time's interview and my notes about it.
Sir.
So how to design this interview. So we tried our level best, while UPSC actual interview is like not even sky is the limit. Anything can come up.
Yeah, sir.
Point here is mind being ready for that.
So I think that was where I went wrong last time, because last time my interview was at the end. So I had given so many interviews that I thought that this is step 1, step 2, step 3. And if they deviated from one of these steps, I got tensed. And so I think this time the interview being earlier compliments me, because now I can go as a natural myself. Sir.
You are into which sport?
Sir, I have not mentioned any sport, sir.
But do you play? Do you like any game?
Sir, I sometimes play chess, sir, but not outdoor as much.
Okay. I hope you understand the metaphor I am using.
Yes, sir.
There is a particular football World Cup in which Brazil's team was simply outstanding.
Sir.
And in a particular, I think it was almost semi-final or final. It came down to 5 penalty shootout kicks, 5 kicks. And the Brazilian goalkeeper just missed one, but Brazil lost.
Sir.
The one that he missed, the opponent team, the player ran towards the ball, and just before kicking, he stopped for a split second. Just a split second.
Sir.
The goalkeeper dived towards one side and he just placed the ball
on the right.
So, I mean, when you tell me about what happened last time, this is the metaphor that comes to my mind.
Similar story, sir.
So, it has to be the mind that is open for anything, and you are ready for it. I mean, whatever comes up, you are ready for it. At 1 or 2 points, you said, "Can I ask? Sir, can I ask so and so?"
May I ask?
No, not even. Instead of even saying, put it as a statement.
Sir, like?
Instead of posing that as a question, can I ask is you are seeking a clarification.
Sir.
So instead of saying, can I ask, you can say, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get the point.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
This was also, your wording was, is it regarding so and so?
Yes, sir.
So again, posing it as a question. The drafting needs to be changed. Instead of saying, is it regarding so and so, sir, I presume it is regarding so and so.
Okay, sir.
Then again, that if whole secularism is, but I'll reserve that as the last 2 minutes to be spent on this point. That overall discussion on like India, Canada, US needs India to counter China. I mean, all of us, deeper insight. This discussion remained at the surface.
Okay, sir.
Lots of deeper factors, really. You have a Labour Party government that is leftist government in Canada, Democratic Party that is again leftist in American. They can't stand Narendra Modi government.
So should I say it in same wordings?
As a pol science student, same money as a pol science student.
Right, sir.
That their policies, their approaches are anti, and they get reflected in everything.
Right, sir.
Justin Trudeau is supporting Khalistanis in Canada under the garb of freedom of expression.
Sir, I also read one thing that Justin Trudeau's party needs the support from Sikhs to maintain their majority.
The Sikh gentleman there,
Sir,
he is having 10 or 12 MPs.
25.
25.
Yeah.
So, and उसके कारण majority है, वो हट जाएगा, majority करके.
Yeah.
So I should be clear in this regard.
These are those subtle factors.
Right.
It's like the old days of UPA.
Yes, sir.
Anybody with 2 MPs come and threaten.
Okay, sir.
And then that Guru Patwant Singh there threatens to blow Air India aeroplanes, attack our parliament on 13th. And America says freedom of expression.
Okay, sir.
And he pointed out the Iranian general Qasim Soleimani was killed by Americans.
Oh, they killed another one recently.
Bin Laden, another one. And Bin
2
Laden.
days back.
So if America can execute their terrorists wherever they are in the world, why can't India?
Sir, but won't they say that it is against the international laws?
It is not against international law.
No, if
Proclaim
it is
terrorists.
okay for them, then it's okay for, sauce for the goose and gander, it's same.
Okay,
Can't
sir.
have it.
That is point, but I am also, since you are raising the point about, and even under international law, proclaimed terrorist can be taken out anywhere, anytime.
Okay, sir.
It is perfectly within the framework of international laws.
So because in some cases, sir, when I said that India was right, even if it was alleged, but if it is the case, then also India was right. They simply questioned, sir, don't you think that India being a responsible power should not follow the policy for tit for tat? So that's why I didn't have any
Again,
answer.
you are carefully thought out this thing.
Sir.
I think I am speaking for everyone.
Sir.
That these are all naive ways of looking at things.
Okay, sir.
We reserve our right to strike. We should. If I am sitting there, I am going to say we reserve our right to strike.
Definitely, sir. Because that was also my understanding, sir, that we should try to protect our national interest wherever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Then see if you can maintain eye contact with the whole panel as you are talking.
Yes.
Sir.
Today, largely, I saw you speaking only with the panel member who is asking the question.
Okay, sir.
Again, about precision, sir was asking you about difference between ICS and LET, JEM, etc. ICS is a state, one likes it or not. LET, JEM are not so-called non-state actors. So-called.
Okay.
Again, I don't believe they are fully backed by ISI, Pakistani army and Pakistani state, but the difference, that discussion.
State and non-state.
Use the word Khorasan. Check
Khorasan.
it out. We
Yeah.
come under the Khorasan Caliphate.
Okay, sir.
India comes under that of the ISIS.
Okay, sir. So there was also talk about Gajwa-e-Hind. So
There is.
That has been the dream
Yeah.
since Muhammad himself.
yes, sir. So should I be using that word?
In fact, if you see the motives of both LET and JEM, they actually are to use Jammu and Kashmir as the base and then percolate inwards.
Okay, sir.
But Chakma, read up, you missed the mark.
Okay, sir.
And your father is from the police. So
Sir.
AFSPA was a completeness.
Right,
You
sir.
should know it. You should know what the pain points in the AFSPA.
Actually, Chakmas come from the northern hilly Chitgaon tract.
Chittagong.
From there, they were hounded out from Bangladesh. So they came to India.
Okay, sir.
And you refer to that Mon incident. Go deeper over there, study. I mean, take your own time.
Okay, sir.
There is a standard practice of shouting at our own army, which again we never appreciate. Intelligence had informed our security agents there that the armed terrorists are heading in your direction.
Okay, sir.
Then our guards over there asked that jeep to stop. And the jeep didn't stop. It kept coming. So they opened fire.
Okay, sir. I'll read about it, sir.
But it is our media, so-called media, the so-called mainstream, especially the English print media, paints only one-sided, to say the least. At times they even distort facts, giving a completely wrong impression. See how Indian army is committing atrocities either in the northeast or Kashmir, which is not true at all. Independent agencies have proved. And just one last point.
Sir.
That question on CM being called Bulldozer Baba.
Sir.
Your response was why not?
Sir.
So in the interview, never respond with why not.
Okay, sir.
Just offer your answer.
Okay, sir.
And the crux there again is, Supreme Court has upheld the policy.
Yes, sir.
So that is critical in the UPSC discussion, that the policy is not arbitrary, it is not being misused, procedure as set by law is not being bypassed. Some citizens had approached Supreme Court asking it to give a directive to UP Chief Minister not to take to bulldozer policy. And Supreme Court recorded observations saying that nothing outside law is being done. We refuse to intervene.
Okay, sir.
There is a procedure as set by law. And then bulldozer action.
There is a Supreme Court ruling that for demolishing illegal structures, no notice need to be given. That covers that.
Okay, sir.
Right? So Kunal, I mean, right now I would again say 189.90, 190. But on 2nd January, 200 plus
Sir.
this time, right?
Right, sir.
Yeah. As you know, these are notes
Sir.
with absolute all best wishes.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.